Hey, boys. Knock.
Who's there?
Up the who?
Up the Okay. G'day everyone. Welcome back to the Building Empires podcast. The boys are back, ready to talk some shit about some league. So before we get into it, let's roll that intro. Let's go. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. G'day everybody, and welcome to the Building Empires podcast. I'm your host Jace. You ready to talk some shit or what? Let's go. Woohoo! One day there's going to be a real crowd. G'day everyone. Welcome back to the Building Empires podcast. Got the bros here with me. We got Kura.
Hey, bros.
And we got TJ. Ready to talk some shit about some league or what? You ready or no?
Yeah.
Before we actually start, man, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting us. Man, we've got a lot of positive feedback from what we're doing, so we're going to keep on continuing to provide you some content, whether you find it funny or interesting or bullshit. Up to you, but yeah, we're enjoying making the content, so and we'll keep getting it out there. So boys, how did you go for round 4? Let's go over our tips. So we'll start your way, my bro.
Yeah, man, I did pretty well. I ended up getting 6. If it wasn't for the upsets on Sunday, then I probably would have got a perfect round. But yeah, I ended up finishing up with 6.
And me, I got 3. Oh my god. I think this was the week of all the non-favorites. But we won't get to that sensitive subject. How'd you go, my bro?
Yeah, so I think I got 5 out of the 8.
Nice.
5 out of 8, so massive improvement from last week where I only got 3.
And you know, speaking of massive improvement, game of the week definitely is, we got to go with the bros team right here. The Titans versus the Tigers, and the Titans go up, but I won't say much. The bro can take over from here. How are your boys looking on game day?
Oh man, that was what I think a lot of Titan fans needed. We needed that win. For those of you who don't know and who probably don't care, it's all good. So the last game we won was about 365 days ago.
That's 1 year.
That's a whole year. And I think, if Kura's correct, the team we actually beat the last time was the Broncos.
Yeah.
So
true. It's been a long time. A long time. Geraldine.
Why you gotta bring up the past?
But yeah, no, look, it was they played exactly how I thought they would. Aaron Clark came in, and you know he's for me. I think he's going to be our future hooker.
Nice.
I spoke about Tanner Boyd last week. He got on there, but he got on there like late towards the back end of the game. So didn't really see much from him, but I'm expecting bigger minutes from him. Young Tonomapia.
Oh man, welcome back to rugby league. Man. It's a shame you're not playing for the Storm, but welcome back, bro.
What an entrance!
But I just don't know what to say, especially like just that whole game. I actually thought that we were going to lose, especially after Benji kicked that field goal, and for Ash Taylor to just come in and do his thing. Like you can see a lot of confidence with the guys. So hopefully he carries that on into this week, and yeah, Titans all the way.
What do you think of the game, my bro?
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. I thought the Tigers were actually going to take that one out, but yeah, you could definitely see the heart in the Titans. It just goes to show that anything can happen in rugby league, man. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
you can't just always keep your eyes on the favourites all the time, man. So yeah.
I got the first half, but the second half, unfortunately, I was cut off by KO, man. Oh my god. Don't worry, I tagged in my Instagram story and I told them what's up, man. But man, fix your shit, boys. But the bros really excited that they got away with the win. I know it's been a long time, but man, I think you can, like I could have said, anything can happen, man.
Yeah,
it's
bro.
crazy.
Yeah, that's it.
It could be the best team, man, and you could fall to the crappiest team of the year. So.
No, not that we're the crappiest team. I think the Broncos have got that at the moment. So to all you Bronco fans.
But I feel like this week was definitely. I thought it was going to be a pretty straightforward week, like when we went through the but then Your man got 3, so yeah, obviously not it. Anyways, moving on to player of the week. So we'll go the way of you, my bro. Who's your player of the week?
Player of the week for me was definitely Ash Taylor.
Who's that?
He's an up-and-coming Queensland and possibly Australian player, hopefully one day. But just seeing him out there having fun. There was a moment in the game where he had a little dig at Benji Marshall, and it was like, I think there were just a bit of banter between the two of them. So it was really good to see him out there and just enjoying footy again.
That was disrespectful.
That was not disrespectful, alright? It was just a bit, But he showed that why we signed him to $1 million, and that showed in that game with his 2 kicks and both of them ending up in tries.
Nice.
And I guess the sky's the limit for him. It's just up to him to turn up and actually play the game that we know he can play.
This podcast is the only place you will ever see or hear people talk about the Titans for this long. They didn't even talk about that in the news this long. Jeez, so tune in. If you're a Titan supporter, man, this is the podcast.
If you're a
right?
Titan supporter, man,
You're gonna hear about,
this is for us.
Yeah, you're going to hear about Game of the Week every week. How about you, my bro? Who was your player of the week?
My player of the week would have to be Jesse Raymond, the centre for the Sharks. Man, he just...
What a game. Player of the match, I reckon.
Awesome display of his skill. He ended up picking up a few meat pies, so... he's definitely showing the form that he had at Newcastle in the previous years, and now that he's at the Sharkies.
Yeah.
Origin? Is he Origin eligible? Or?
I'm pretty sure he's New South Welshman, so...
He'll be considered, I reckon.
We got all the good players, brother. We got all
Finally.
Finally!
Yeah. But yeah, Jesse Raymond definitely did have a good game. And it shows surrounded by different halves and what he can do. And finally getting some, ball.
Yeah.
He's dangerous. For me, my player of the week was KP, man. Kalen Ponga, hands down. Not first game back, but came back from injury. I'll give you some stats. So in fantasy, if you had him, you got 93 points, which is bloody amazing. You got 1 try, 2 try assists, almost 280 meters, running meters, 1 line break, 8 tackle breaks, man. What more can you want from a fullback?
How many tackles?
But 1 tackle. 1 tackle, and he's still got 93 on fantasy, so... that's a great effort. He didn't need to tackle because the boys are,
But how many points were scored against him?
I think it's against.
Against him.
Oh, what was the score?
I don't know.
Anyways, I think it was on the opposite side. Kalen Ponga wasn't over there. Anyways, he was my player of the week. He's one of my favourite players at the NRL at the moment. It's funny that we always talk about the Knights a lot, like the Knights and the Titans. What a podcast. But yeah, definitely.
We're not biased. That's
But yeah, definitely my player of the week, and he's always been one of my favourite players. So just keep an eye on him. He's going to keep on continuing to do that as long as he's not injured. He'll perform week in, week out. So yeah. So now let's get into round 5. So the first game we got on Thursday. So this is the short turnaround. Central Coast Stadium. We got the Eagles. We got the Manly Eagles versus the Broncos. So we'll go to you, Kura. What are you going for this game?
I'm going to go Manly. I felt that even though they end up losing against Parramatta on the weekend, I still feel that they're still a really good side. They were unfortunate to lose to Parramatta.
So be honest, bro. Was it a forward pass or what?
In my eyes, there was never a forward pass.
Wasn't it?
Nah, never. Not even a chance.
Even when they
Even if the touchy kept running, it still wouldn't have been a chance.
No, even they slowed it down even on that angle.
Yeah.
So then I think the guy who does the videoing or the leader of that, he come out and said, "Yeah, sorry, dudes, we made a mistake." So that's always good, but how controversial was it? So, especially for your team.
Oh, it's very controversial.
That was the first 4 wins in a row in however many years.
The last time that happened was in the 80s, man.
Yeah,
so.
no. That's when Thingo had hair. Buddy Peter Sterlo. What about you, bro? Where are you going with that game?
I'm gonna have to go with Kura on this one. just the form that Sea Eagles have had the last 2 weeks, and the form that the Broncos have had, I don't see the Broncos getting up. I think the Sea Eagles have stuck with the same team that they played last week, whereas with the Broncos, there's quite a few changes there.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting the team with the same players, that bond and that chemistry to get up. So
Yeah.
another first on this podcast. I never support Manly, but I'm going to go with Manly on
I
this
was
one.
just going to say too. I was just going to say.
You have to, man. That's the smart thing to do. And I'm going to follow the boys. We're going to be all in agreement with this one. Even though my man Katoni Staggs is back, I don't think he'll be enough to get the boys over the line. It looks like Joffa comes into the starting 13. Bentio makes an appearance. So welcome back, Bentio, to Rugby League. Have a good game, cuz. Yeah, that's my uncle, cuz.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm going the way of Manly. They've been on form, too good. You can't see it going any other way, I guess. It'll be a close one, depending on how they go with the forwards. But you have a rookie hooker in the Broncos with I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Pakes or Pays? Corey Pakes.
Yeah,
Yeah, Pays. Yeah, just not enough leadership in that team, or not enough vets to keep the boys going. So yeah, easily Manly.
Yeah.
That moves us to the next game. First game on Friday, 6 o'clocker. At Central Coast Stadium, to the same stadium. We got the Warriors versus the Cowboys. So we'll go with you, T. Just as a kind of a hardish kind of one, form-wise. So where you going?
I'm going to go with the Cowboys on this one.
Nice.
I just the Warriors last week. I don't know what happened, but to go home with a donut is never a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Cowboys. I think they won. They won this last week.
No,
They lost.
They lost.
Yeah.
Oh well, there you go. They lost, but
They won the first week back.
I think Cowboys will probably come in feeling filthy after that loss. So I reckon they'll probably get up. On paper, Cowboys for me have the better team. Tom Malolo is still a question mark to come back this week. So if he does come back, definitely Cowboys, and I'd probably say it'll be a blowout. But if he doesn't, I'm going to call it a close one, but still back to Cowboys on this one.
Cool, bro. What about you, my bro? Where you going?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to follow TJ on this one. I think, I think the Cowboys are just gonna be too good. Like TJ just said, if Tom Malolo gets named, definitely it's gonna be a Cowboys game. You notice that because of their loss on the weekend, how much they rely on Jason Taumalolo, especially when he's playing really good. You can definitely see the difference in the game that they had last week compared to probably the way they play with them on the field. So, if he does get included, if not, then I'm still going to back the Cowboys. I don't see them. After Warriors' performance last week, I think they have an unchanged team pretty much.
Not really sure. Who's Perham? Never seen that name before.
Yeah, he was playing last week. So they don't have the big man in the wing. Kim Amalo, so usually he's pretty effective when he's got the ball in hand, when he's returning the ball. So, or if he's not going to be there, then probably Warriors will struggle this week. So yeah, Cowboys.
Oh man, and controversy corner comes around again, and I think I'm going to go the way of the Warriors this game. I agree with the boys. On paper, you can't get away from the Cowboys in comparison to the Warriors, but I'm going to give them the BOD. Last week, I don't know what the hell happened, and I was backing them, but it didn't work out. But I think they're going to bounce back stronger this week. I still believe in Tanoa Brown and Katoa. I still think for young forwards, man, they're doing well, paving the way for the Warriors, I guess, setting that benchmark.
Yeah.
So I'm still going with definitely agree with the boys on paper. You'd go Cowboys 99% of the time, but just to keep it interesting, I'm going to put my neck on the line. I'm going to go for the Warriors again, so don't disappoint me. Come on, boys, get up. But I think, I'm going to go the way of the Warriors. So, see how we go with that. That moves us to the next game. So, I'll let the bro talk about this game. Who we got, Kura?
Got the Para taking on Panthers, the Battle of the West.
The Battle of the West, eh?
It's a good old rivalry, the Battle of the West. So it should be a good one. Always is a good one. Obviously, I'm going to back the Eels. with the form that they've got at the moment, it's hard not to back them. But I can't see like the Panthers will turn up with a good performance. You know, this team's pretty good too. So I know that they're going to have the inclusion of Nathan Cleary back. So there's going to be a few shifts in their team. But yeah, I'm looking at this one as a close one.
Hopefully, they didn't pay the refs. Made the Panthers.
There won't
pay
be
the
any
refs.
forward passes in this one, I can tell you that.
So, what about you, Mark? Where are you going with this game?
I'm going to have to go with the Eels on this one. 4 games undefeated, even after the break. That game that they played against Manly was a pretty solid game.
Nail biter.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm expecting them to come out with that same fire. Clint Gutho is just getting better as each round goes by. Same with the halves, Dylan Brown and Mitchell Moses. And then, that forward pack. I'm just waiting for Junior Paulo to just play a full game on 80 minutes and not come off. Like, the way he's been playing, it looks like he's capable of doing it. So I guess it's just whether their coach will allow him. So special shout out to my uncle who supports the Eels. This one's for you, man. I'm going to back the Eels on this one.
Ooh,
Let's go.
man. So I'm going the way with the Eels too, easily. Nathan Brown comes back, so he pushes Murata Nukode to the bench, which is all right. With Nathan Cleary back, it's all right. Jerome Luai and Matt Burden did not bad at Matt Burden. If you had him on fantasy, man. What a man. I think he got, I can't remember now, 80-something points or whatever.
He did good last round.
But you wouldn't want to have him this week because he's getting reduced minutes, so he's not going to ever score like that unless they drop Luai. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, even if I go back to fantasy, bro, you would want to have Panther players, man. They work hard. But I think the skills and, that halves combination with Dylan Brown and Moses, we spoke about it on our other podcast too. They're just too good. They're proving that they're too dominant. So easy game for, not easy, but I reckon they'll win quite convincingly. So going away, Battle of the West going to para this one. And don't forget, drink West. Shout out to the bros. Jump on the podcast, my bros. And I'll let the bro introduce the first Saturday game. Let's get into it, my bro.
Yeah, sweet. So first Saturday game, we have the Titans taking on the Rabbitohs. This one will be at Bankwest Stadium. After last week, I can't not back the boys this week.
Nice.
They've gone with an unchanged team as well, so I'm expecting big things from that team. Like I said last week, Aaron Clark came out. He did his thing. My man Tanner Boyd got on, but he obviously was on limited minutes, so I'm hoping this time around they get him out there a bit longer. Young Tonham Appears actually starting for us this week. I would have thought that they dropped Dale Copley instead, but that's why the coaches get paid the big bucks.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad because it pushes Tyron Peachy to the bench. I thought he did pretty well last week, but again, that's why they have the coaches. But I'm going to go with the Titans, man. In terms of points, let's just go with a lazy 10.
Lazy 10.
First it was safe, now it's lazy.
Let's go with a lazy 10.
Safely.
I'll go next. Unfortunately, as much as I'd like to go for the Titans just for an upset, I think Rabbitohs will bounce back after last week's performance. Again, another team, if you look on paper, Rabbitohs should win 90% of the time, 99% of the time, I guess. But sorry. 85% of the time. But yeah, like Kura mentioned before, it's rugby league. You never know what can happen because they were hungry. That's why Titans come away with the win.
Definitely were.
And you got Fodaweeka there. What a man. What a man. That's all I have to say.
Do that again? Yeah. He's a horse too.
My man. Anyways, yeah, I'm going with the Rabbitohs. Depending on who starts off right, I guess, for momentum-wise, could swing either way. But yeah, let's go with the Rabbitohs with this one just to be safe. That's all the home teams I'm going for at the moment. That's where I know I'm going to be wrong because there's going to be upset somewhere. Where are you going, my bro?
I'm gonna go with the Rabbitohs this week. They played pretty well against the Storm. I've noticed that Cody Walker's been included as well. So now that he's in, hopefully they can get their halves pairing down pat again. I know they had Troy Dargan there for a bit, so now that Cody Walker's back, hopefully he can string a few tries while he's there. After Titans' performance, it's hard for me not to go with the Rabbitohs. Their performance against the Storm. So yeah, Rabbitohs all the way.
Nice. Okay, moves us to the game of the week.
I haven't even set on a team who's going to win this week.
Oh, who?
For that one. Oh, sorry, no, not the one before, but this one.
Oh, yeah, this one's hard. So we're going with, it's at Central Coast Stadium, so we're driving up, I think. Yeah, we're driving up. We got the Knights.
Your first one away, yeah?
Newcastle Knights against the mighty Melbourne Storm. And guess where I'm going, boys?
The Knights.
Not surprising.
Yeah, we're going to make them go night-night.
Wow.
Anyways, I'm backing the boys. The Knights. I'll go for the Storm. This is going to be a hard match. So, like we spoke about momentum shifts, whoever comes off the back foot straight up, I reckon will have they need to carry the momentum for the rest of the game. On paper, this is kind of like an even team, but I'd like sway more to the boys. Branko Lee comes on, so he pushes out Marion Sever, which is kind of sad, but hopefully he can show us what he's made from. And he's from Hughes? Did he come from the Titans?
Originally, yeah.
Do you rate him as a player?
Bro. I was actually upset they would let him go, and
Max King,
yeah.
that whole Max trade, like there was 2 or 3 guys. But yeah, I don't know. Our team, I don't know what's going on. If we didn't have Munster, I don't know what would be happening. It looks like since what's his name is injured.
Jerome Hughes.
Yeah, Jerome Hughes. Thank you, bravo.
Oh, good.
They put Riley Jackson 7, so they spoke about putting Cameron Munster there and possibly giving more minutes to Brandon Smith, but that hasn't happened according to the team list. So that's cool. We're going to see what Riley Jackson's made out of. And yeah, we'll see how we go.
What about for the Titans today?
Another Titans, eh?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Riley Jack.
So was it Riley Jackson, Max King, and Branko Lee come on that trade? I'm pretty sure.
Well, didn't Riley Jack start with Melbourne and then come to us and then he came
Yeah,
back?
no, you're right. He did.
Oh, true. Can't remember.
What a dog.
What a dog!
You heard it first, Jax. Very dog.
So, where you going, my bro?
Look, I'm actually going to go with the Storm on this one. The way they played last week, even though there was a few errors there, that their defense, when it's on, it's on. And I felt like towards the back end of that game, Cameron Munster really sparked it up.
Cool.
I was actually quite happy to see Branko Lee get a run as well. Just seeing him carry the ball and just taking up those hard hit-ups was a massive thing for me. Expecting him to come out and do the same. And then again, that whole Melbourne Storm forward pack, like, it's...
The Bromwiches.
Yeah. Easily top 5 forward pack in the game at the moment. Even though some of them are probably aging a bit.
Look at our bench, bro. All forwards.
Yeah, hard.
Tino, Brandon, Max, and Nelson. Wow.
So I'm guessing off that, we're expecting a very fast game, or maybe they're trying to get ready for a speedy game from the night. Yeah, so that Melbourne forward pack doesn't matter how you look at it, they will be always top 5, and even though there's a couple of aging players in there, I still feel like they have a lot to offer. So I'm definitely tipping the Storm for this one.
Awesome, bro. Where you going, my bro?
Yeah, I'm the same. I think I'm going to tip the Storm. To me, the Storm are kind of slowly finding their feet. They kind of struggled in the first few rounds, but yeah, I'm starting to see them find their feet. Munster's starting to produce some really good, I guess, game time. But yeah, these guys have already said, man, the forward packs for both teams, it could go either way, man. So
Feedy, Glasby.
some pretty big boys on the field at the moment, eh? Some tall blokes. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a bit of a toss-up, but I think Storm will be the stronger side.
And now that you mentioned the battle of the forward packs, man, look at that. And then you got Bradman Best, who's on the best form of his life. Man, it's hard to get away with him. His combination with Edric Lee, Man, that's a combination of the year, I reckon. Anyways, that moves us to our next game,
Let's go.
which is the last game on Saturday night. And we got the Tigers versus the Raiders. So, Kura, where are we going with that one, my bro?
I'm going to follow the Raiders. Man, the Raiders. Man, they disappointed me on the weekend, especially against the Knights. But I'm thinking that the Raiders will definitely have to come back and show a bit of form. They're going to be definitely going to be filthy about their loss on the weekend. There are probably a few players in there that probably should have picked up from their game previous against Storm. But after the Tigers' shocking loss to the Titans, I think Raiders will end up being the better side, and I think it's going to be a whooping.
Whooping. What about you, my bro?
I'm going with the Raiders again. I backed them last week, and I'm backing them again this week. I still feel like they're a top 2 team. Who knows what happened last week? I just feel like guys like George Williams need to bring that flair that he had in that first game against the Storm, and hopefully they can get up. But definitely backing the Raiders for this one.
Nice. Just to give people some context, it's currently almost 6 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. 3 o'clock today, we got news that Benji Marshall was not named in the 17, which is astounding to me since he played a good game. He's one of the best players to ever touch a rugby ball, rugby league ball, if that. And man, you got some good names on, not even in the starting 17.
Yeah,
Luke Garner, Corey Thompson.
Billy Walters.
Man, you can't, and Billy Walters, you just don't know what their mindset's at. And for them to drop someone like Luke Garner and then start Tommy Tullo, even though he's on the wings, he's a rookie. So you don't know where their mindset's going.
Bit of a risk.
Yeah, a bit of a risk there. They slotted Reynolds in, who hasn't been playing full minutes ever since the bro came into the side. So I don't know what the thinking around this is. But then in positives, you got Harry Grant, who's been killing it. As much as I'm talking about the Tigers, there's got so much potential in their team.
Yeah.
Layla was performing a good combination. Harry Grant killing it 12, dominating. But I'm going to go the way of the Raiders. They're going to bounce back from last week. They let it slip, and Sticky's going to get into them. You can't get away from this squad. Look at that. And they're another... Oh, and actually, they got Rapano.
I was going to say, if I saw him get named.
Yeah. It looked like they were all good. But look at this forward pack. Oh, what a forward pack. But yeah, I'm going with the Raiders. And because of what happened last week with the Tigers and also with the Raiders, I think they're going to come back way more. It's like the Bellamy effect, but this one's with Sticky. So I'm calling him Sticky like we're mates. Sorry, Ricky Stewart. Okay, that moves us to Sunday at Bankwest at 4 o'clock. We got the Doggies and the Roosters. So this should be a pretty... I hate saying this for Rooster game, but it should be a pretty straightforward one.
Yeah, it is. It's what? How do you say it, Kura? It's a no-brainer.
No-brainer, mate. It's a
That's
no-brainer.
it. So I'm backing the Roosters on this one. That game against the Broncos. If you haven't seen it yet, go and watch it, and you'll know why I'm backing the Roosters. And I'll leave it at that. Roosters for the win.
I'll go next. Pretty convincingly, the Roosters. Can't get away from them. The boys showed up. They put on a clinic, and Tedesco wasn't even playing. So imagine if he was playing.
Yeah.
We could have seen a triple score, man. We would have seen in the hundreds, I reckon. But look, they got Brett Morris and Josh Morris on. So who did they drop? Who was their inside centre? Oh, Ryan Hall's moved out. Mitchell Orbison.
He didn't play.
Eh? Isaac Lee, Sam Barrows. Yeah, they must have moved someone because both Morrises weren't playing.
I can't remember. I think it
Ikuvalu,
was...
was it
Yeah, I think it was
Oh,
Ikuvalu.
Ikuvalu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was trying to think. Ikuvalu.
Look, he's not even in there. Wow.
Completely deleted.
Deleted, man. Hey, honestly, I reckon, as much as I don't want to say it, I reckon they're going to be really close to going 3 in a row, man.
They got the side for it.
Yeah, they went with a mature side. This is the side that you need, man. Shit. So what about you, my bro?
No, I think Roosters will take this one. It's pretty simple. Now that they've got the inclusion of Tedesco back this week, I think they're going to be real good. I don't know what to say about the Bulldogs though.
Enough said.
They play pretty well against the Dragons, but yeah, I just don't feel like they have enough attacking power compared to the Roosters.
Yeah, look. Well, if you look at the list, they've put Hopewadi back at fullback and they put Dallin on the wing. So they're not trusting him, and I don't think he's overly been performing as a fullback.
Yeah, I think they did that on the weekend too. They ended up switching him to the wing, Zelesniak.
And it worked out for them, I guess. And then the pairing with Luke Keary and Kyle Flanagan, oh man, he's playing out of his skin. Victor Radley is just putting on a Victor Radley show like he normally does. Man, I hate it because sometimes he's really inconsistent, but for this year, he's been really good. So he's one person that you should keep in mind if you're for your fantasy team.
Yeah.
So moving into, this is the last game of the week, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
And this is between the Dragons and the Sharks at Campbelltown Stadium. So, my bro, where are you going with this one?
Sharks. Definitely back in the Sharks.
Yep.
Don't know what it is about this team, but I guess it's probably like my second team that I like to watch. They played really well last week as well. The Dragons, I think, are still trying to figure out their team. This team here has been a bit of a rejig as well compared to last week, so I'm pretty sure the Sharks have gone with an unchanged team as well. Jesse Remian to come in, and I'm expecting him to just carry on that form from last week as well. Yeah, just the Sharks, man. I can't knock back the Sharks on this round.
Not you, my bro.
Yeah, I think the Sharks will do pretty well this week against the Dragons. As I spoke before, I said that Jesse Ramian was like my player of the week. So yeah, like TJ said, I'm expecting him to come back this week with the same form that he had in the game before. There's a player named Hiroti that's on the wing for Sharks. I'm not sure if the same Hiroti that used to play for South Sydney. I could be wrong. Could be a different Hiroti.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard this player's pretty good as well. Shucks, who else is there? Somebody else. Oh, and Andrew Fafita's coming back.
Yep.
So I remember he wasn't in the last two games because of injury. So hopefully he'll bring some more size back to their squad now that he's back, and some leadership as well.
Awesome. I'm going to back the boys too. Bro, there's too much things happening in the Dragons outside of footy, or as a footy club that's going to impact that's already impacted them. They're changing their halves pairings. They're moving boys around, shuffling boys in and out. Paul McGregor is unsure whether he's working or not, so they're all over the joint at the moment. And from Monday's game, which was yesterday's game against the Doggies, that game was a make or break for both of them, for Dean Pay and also Paul McGregor, and he's under a lot of scrutiny at the moment. Heard a crazy stat, like they've lost all 4 games and they haven't scored for the last 2 games, scored a try. And then there was even something more, like
It's only been like 2 points, isn't it?
Yeah, Lomax got the bloody penalty last week. And then I think it's like they've lost the last 13 out of their last 17 games or something like that. Or it was worse than that, 17 out of 21 or something like that. So he's got a lot to prove. Maybe they didn't get the roster that they were after. I don't know. Like on paper, these boys are pretty good. You got some good names. You got Cam McInnes, who tackles anything with legs. He goes all day, bro. He's the man. I don't really like Matt Moylan at fullback for the Sharkies. But since Townsend's back, they pushed Moylan to the fullback, and they unfortunately got moved Kennedy out of the side. I reckon he's been doing well, and I wish they just chucked him on the wing or something. But you know, they get paid the big bucks, like you said.
That's it.
And they make all the good decisions. But also for fantasy wise, Toby Rudolph moves out of the starting 13, so you might see that his points will drop a little bit. In the same as Hamlin Uele, but just keep him. He will still make you money. He's a bloody good player when he turns on too. So yeah, that's our weekly tips, man.
It is.
And this one, for me, what do you reckon about the round? It's kind of straightforward, but I thought last week was straightforward. But I think there's a few games where you're kind of iffy depending on momentum. But yeah,
Definitely.
Okay, that moves us to our discussion topic. So, this was a great one. We've been asking for the last 2 episodes for questions, anything you want us to talk about, and we finally got a topic. So I'll let the bro take over here. And what did one of our fans say?
Alright, so first things first, shout out to Twain Fitzgerald.
Shout out to you, my bro.
His name's actually Twain, but we always pronounce it Twain for some reason in school. And he wanted us to talk about how we became fans of our certain teams. So I guess
And by the comments, it looked like TJ's story is pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Because there was a lot of allegations for that there.
It was.
And so we just want to get the story straight, mate.
Yeah,
so,
we want to hear the truth too from you guys.
And if the bros you know him, isn't it Twain? If you know him, and if he says something that you think is false, make sure you add him in the comments.
Add him, bro. Add him.
Alright, so
Okay,
where do I start? Okay. So I guess the best way to tell this is to give a bit of a little bit of backstory, a bit of context. So obviously I moved to New Zealand from Rarotonga. In Raro, all we played at the time was rugby union and soccer, so I knew nothing about rugby league. Moved across to New Zealand, and everyone I knew was a diehard Warriors fan. Right? When I actually started getting into the game of rugby league, my first game I went to was a Warriors game, and they played the Broncos. And for me, it was like, oh, you know what? Everyone supports the Warriors. I might as well just jump on the bandwagon. Didn't really feel comfortable, or like, for me, it was like, oh, fuck, I'm just supporting these guys because my mates are doing it. And Twain and Ray, if you guys are watching, you know that's true. Because I always told you guys that Scott Prince was my favorite player, and at the time when I moved across, he was with West Tigers, and then they won the premiership, and then he moved across to the Titans.
Yep.
But anyways, 2007, Warriors and Eels quarterfinal, right? They played the quarterfinal in Auckland. And there was this massive campaign where the Warriors were like, if you're a fan, come down to the game. We're all black. Let's try and black out the stadium.
Cool.
So I was like, you know what, sweet. I was working part time at the time, and the tickets were like, I think they were like $50, $60 a ticket. So I bought 2 for myself and my mate Ray. And the deal was, after school, we were supposed to go home, get ready, and they were supposed to meet up at like 4:30 or something. And anyways, Ray turned up late, so the people that were taking us to the game was a mate of my mum's. So like, I had to like beg her to take us, and she was like, "Yep, okay." And we were waiting for Ray to turn up, and Ray obviously was late, and this lady was getting shitty at me because we were waiting for my mate, and she's like, where is he? What is he doing? And I won't mention any names, but Ray was actually walking one of the girls home, and that's why we were late.
Oh, that's all you were talking
Where's
about.
the faith?
So
Where's the faith?
we get to the game, so I'm like pretty filthy at Ray's like, bro, like, you made me look like a damn fool in front of my mom's friend, like. And it was like, no, it's all good, it's all good. We're here now. We're gonna watch the game, and Para were up, and I think it was like the last 5 minutes of the game. There was an overlap. Fucking, I remember this play clearly. There was an overlap on the left-hand side. Logan Swan had the ball. All he had to do was pass it out, and Warriors would have scored in the corner for sure.
Who was on the wing?
I can't remember if it was Kristen Inu, unless he was on the other side.
Yep.
Hainsey was at fullback, and they had Fui Moi Moi in the forwards and all that. And so Logan Swan, if you're watching this, mate, all you had to do was pass that ball. If you had passed that ball, you guys would have went to the semis. It would have been a home ground advantage, but
It didn't happen.
it didn't.
It's power smashes.
So I think what happened, he tried to take it himself, got tackled, lost the ball, and then I actually think, Inu must have got a break, and that just pretty much sealed the game. And after that night, because I was pretty much angry at the world, angry at my mate, angry at the Warriors, I was like, you know what, stuff this Warriors shit. And pretty much just said, next year I'm supporting a new team, and it just so happened that the Titans were on the rise. And like I said, Scott Prince was one of my favorite players. He signed with them, and it was basically a no-brainer for me.
Nice.
That's a cool story.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
That's
hard.
pretty much how it happened. Ray and Twain, if you guys are watching, feel free to add in your own comments.
Maybe it mentioned the girl's name.
Yeah.
What was she out of 10? Are you still dating her? Because it changed the course of the bro's life. Yeah.
Bros before hoes.
He could still be a Warriors supporter. That would have been better. Alright, what about you, my bro?
Oh, mine. For Parramatta. Me being a Melburnian, I've been born and raised in Melbourne, so like I've always known about Melbourne Storm, but growing up as a young fella, I've always been into rugby union or always known about rugby union. So majority of my favourite players were all from like the All Blacks or the Wallabies. So I didn't really like if you're a kid in Melbourne and people found out that you played rugby league, you're pretty much a pussy.
At that time.
Yeah, at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't want to play rugby league at that time. So yeah, but I remember 2001, if I'm correct. I just so happened to be in Sydney during the NRL Grand Final. The NRL Grand Final was between Parramatta and Newcastle Knights. And I remember I was watching it in the lounge room at my grandparents' place, and I could hear my grandfather in the background just like, yo, go. And I didn't know at the time who was supporting, but I finally found out that he was a big supporter of Parramatta. And
Go to Parramatta.
yeah, that's it, right? That's exactly how it said, Parramatta. And it was one of the reasons why I ended up barracking for Parramatta because my grandfather goes for them. So that's one of the stories, my story.
Nice, and because if you don't know, our family is from like Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney.
On our on
family.
our mum's side of the family, and they're very big Parramatta fans, and also West Tigers. I think it's like half and half, but mainly more Parramatta. So shout out to you, Rhoda. Keep keep going to Para.
Rhoda.
Old mate Rhoda. For me, like Kura, we grew up here in Melbourne, born and raised. The funny thing is, when we were younger, we used to go to the Storm games, like my parents, his parents, and they used to take us. And when we used to go, not a lot of people know, but me and my cousin, we used to go against the Storm. So whoever the Storm were playing, we used to go for them.
See, I knew you
The Broncos were good at that time.
I know we were for the Broncos there. But I remember, I don't know why, but there's always a lot of Warriors games this year.
Yeah.
So we used to go for, my dad is, he's what we call, I don't know what you call them, one of those few bocos. He always goes for the team of whoever's winning.
He goes for every team.
You ask him who he goes for St. George 1 week, and then Manly, and then Warriors. Yeah. So, but yeah, we always used to go to the games all the time, and that's when I developed the love for the team. But I used to hate against it. We say, nah, fuck the Storm, go whoever. And I think there was a West Tigers game. I can't remember who, but that's the game where I converted to a Storm supporter. I can't remember what happened, but I remember we were all there, and I was going for West Tigers for the whole game until they lost, and then I said, I'm a Storm supporter. So my story isn't as interesting as the boys' ones, but since then I pledged my allegiance to the Storm. If I wasn't going for the Storm, that's a good question to ask the bros. If you weren't barracking for your team, who would you be barracking for? I think I would know who your one would be. You just said the Warriors, but who would you be going for?
Oh, right now, it'll be a toss-up between South Sydney and the Raiders. You just can never guess why.
Team stacked.
It's because they were
And
green.
they're green.
It's because they were green, mate.
NRL team.
But I'll probably go with the Raiders actually.
Yeah, nice.
If I wasn't backing the Titans.
What about you? You can't say Para. Come on, man.
I was going to say AFL team, but... Oh, man, it's hard, man. Nah, it's not really that hard. It's pretty straightforward. I'm from Melbourne, so yeah, my second team will definitely have to be Melbourne Storm, man.
For me, I think I'll be going for the Warriors, and I think it's just an island thing. If you're an islander, you just push towards going for a New Zealand team. That's why most islanders go for the All Blacks too, for rugby union. But yeah, I really like the question though. It's a pretty cool question.
Yeah, man.
Never thought it would happen, but yeah, that's why we barrack for our certain teams.
Yeah, man.
And it's always going to be like that, mate. We're going to be storm high, time, no matter how until we
it,
die.
yeah. That's
And
it,
our
man.
kids are going to be the same, man.
I don't know about your kids.
No. Man, Mon thinks that they're going to be Broncos, but they ain't never going to back in the Queensland team, bro.
I actually think, especially if Ray gets a hold of this and he starts watching. So one of the things we used to do in school, and I remember we did this in our exam, right? So this was our exam to try and get us into uni. But one of the things we used to do was we used to write out like our all-time rugby league team.
I do that all the time.
And like, I think it was 2007, we had a maths exam, and like Ray and I were one of the first ones to walk out. And as soon as we walked out, that was the first thing we said. It was like, bro, who was in your lineup?
Oh, true.
So like in New Zealand, for your exams, there's like, I think you have to sit in there for 30 minutes before you can leave, regardless of whether you finished or not.
Yeah.
And as soon as that 30 minutes was up, that was us. We walked out and it was like, bro, did you ask any questions? Like, nah, I just drew on the back of the paper.
True.
So I won't be surprised if that question comes up, or you know, especially if he watches.
Oh, we could do that next time, definitely. But obviously, we're all going to be in agreement that the best fullback is Billy Slater, so that's the start.
Sorry,
My man.
Best fullbacks. Christian Cullen.
I guess if you have any other questions for us, I think maybe next episode we might open up with getting to know who we are. So just break down our relationship. For those who don't know, my name is Jason.
My name's Kura.
TJ.
Yeah, and I'm actually... Kura's my first cousin, and TJ is my brother-in-law. So you can work the rest out yourself. But in our next episode, we'll break it down and you'll get to know us even more. If you have anything that you want us to talk about, whether it's players or questions like this, which is so cool. So shout out to the bro for the question.
Yes.
We could talk about teams, talk about players, talk about... If you don't want to talk about rugby league, any other topic you want us to talk about, and we can weigh in on it. It's cool, and I'm really happy and really excited to see where this podcast is heading to. Any closing remarks, boys? It's going to be a good week of footy, or?
Yeah, definitely, man. Just again, shout out to Twain. Thanks for the question, man. Can't believe after all these years you still remember that stuff, but hey, that's why you're one of the boys. Cheers, bud.
What about you, bro?
Up the power, that's it.
Ooh, enough said, bro. Case closed. So anyways, make sure you follow the Building Empires podcast on all socials. Tune in next time.
DM him.
Or DM us.
Him.
Yeah, so thank you for supporting the podcast. Make sure you follow us on all socials. DM him. Anything you want us to talk about, let us know.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good week of rugby, so make sure you go check out the rugby. Make sure you go buy you some mangoes. Not sponsored yet, but surely soon. Soon. And Coca-Cola, Audi's brand, bro. Make sure you hit them up. Have a great weekend. And don't forget, people, stay woke. Let's go.
Let's go.